Hello everyone and welcome to the Sporty Show. Yes, lots happening this weekend. Manchester United drawing 1-1 with Chelsea, Man City losing top spot to Liverpool, and Klinton scored 2 goals at football, apparently, he tells me. Again, no video evidence. Klinton, how are you doing?
That was one of the best goals. I know Nicholas Jackson will never. I mean, okay, maybe Nicholas Jackson might score now, but the one person I know cannot score those goals is Garnacho. I'm telling you, ask producer Ben. He saw these goals. And funny enough, it was the only 2 goals we had in that game. Scored by who? The one and only Klinton Cod. That's what I do for a living, bro.
Still yet to see video evidence of these goals from Klinton, but as I said, there's lots to talk about, so here's what's coming up on the show.
We kick off today's Sporty Show by looking back at all the Premier League action, as Manchester United and Chelsea played out a 1-1 draw. Liverpool regained the top spot as they scraped past Brighton on Saturday, whilst both Arsenal and Manchester City slipped up against Newcastle and Bournemouth respectively. And we also look back at all the action from around Europe's top football leagues.
Well, we've had word from producer Ben that Klinton, although he did score those 2 goals, apparently, he did also miss 2 blatant opportunities. So,
oh man, he's lying to you.
We need to do some sort of watch along with Klinton's games at some point. But we do also have the man from Accra, Gary. Gary, how are you doing? Are you suffering after the weekend?
Look at how
I'm in a good place. I'm in a good place.
That's good. That's good.
When Arsenal fans are telling you I'm in a good place, just know that they've taken at least 4 different antidepressant tablets already. I mean, just look at Gary's face.
One of those antidepressants was probably Bournemouth beating Manchester City, but...
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. You have a point. I mean, I'm sure that's the only reason why he feels like he's in a good place. Because honestly, I don't think any Arsenal fan should be saying they're in a good place. The only place they are going to find themselves is somewhere outside of Europe very soon, and they have to be very careful.
We are back to default settings, so I mean it's all right.
It's just like the good old days, fighting for a Champions League spot, as it was with Arsene Wenger.
Exactly. Fighting for top 4.
On to some slightly more somber stuff. We talked about this last week. The flooding in Valencia. Up to 200 people passing away now, which is really sad to see. Obviously, the King and the Queen and the Prime Minister of Spain going down to Valencia. And the players as well from certain teams from Valencia, from other teams in the region, obviously having their games called off and going down to help out where they can, delivering food supplies, helping clear up what's going on down there. So brilliant to see the reaction from not just the Valencian community, but from the rest of Spain, from the world, obviously different countries announcing that they're going to be sending in aid in the form of food and money and help. So really good to see the world rallying around what is a really sad event in Valencia, Klinton.
No, absolutely. It's a very annoying disaster. I mean, these things, you don't see it coming. It just happens. And sometimes, when you've not really been in that situation, you don't understand how, traumatizing it could be. Just imagine living somewhere and next minute you don't have a house again, or you don't have a car, or you just heard that a family member is dead, or, from flood. Where's this flood come from? I remember I used to have a friend back at uni then, and, I got the news from Nigeria to say he was in a stampede, and this was like some kind of religious event. It was like a church event. And I think they shared food or something, and people were trying to get... I think he was part of the people that were organizing this stuff. And, he literally was stampede. They climbed him. People, it wasn't just him. There were quite a few of them in Port Harcourt. So for me, knowing how close I was to this guy, I know how I felt. So I could imagine people in Valencia and, especially the ones who have proper, their family members have been affected. I could imagine how they would feel. And, looking at the pictures, the videos is quite horrible. You would know that, yeah, this is... But, just seeing how the world is responding to it is something I'm pretty much very happy to see. And I just hope that this would not happen again. I mean, this is nature. You can't fight it away. But, it's just to believe that, these things should not happen. That's our hope. And the ones who are affected, I'm hoping, obviously, that they would get the desired help that they should be getting.
Gary, obviously, sometimes things are more important than football. We saw, loads of fixtures over the weekend in the Valencian community get called off. Levante against Malaga, obviously Valencia against Real Madrid. These sort of things, we never want them to happen, but it gives you a sort of a warm feeling inside when you see the reaction of how people are travelling miles to help. buying all sorts of supplies and doing whatever they can to help the region recover.
Absolutely. Football, just like we noticed during COVID, sometimes takes the backseat. And during the Ebola issues here in Africa as well, you realize that football is the least, as much as we try to hype it, and sometimes it's the least of the problems, and we have to treat them as such because human lives come first, because without human lives, you can't have your football, you can't have your community taking part, and so on and so forth. So it was nice to see, and a sobering reminder that, without the superstructure, especially for us in Africa, without the superstructure of a working society, football is a joke. Football will not work. Football absolutely not work. So good to see the players, the teams coming on and helping out in their own way as well. Very good.
Definitely, yes. And well, our thoughts go out to everyone affected, whether that's people who know people there or people who are actually in the region. And hopefully this all can get sorted out very soon. And moving on to slightly more positive things, there was some football in England over the weekend. The Premier League was packed full of action, Klinton. I'm going to start with your very own Manchester United, drawing 1-1 with Chelsea. With Van Nistelrooy's second game in charge, probably his first proper game in charge, considering Leicester was in the Carabao Cup against, with a weakened side in a game where they're expected to win. Happy with the point, or do you think they should have come away with all three?
I mean, for the current Manchester United that we have, I think getting the 1 point is something I'm pretty much very happy with when you think about the fact that they are playing a team who are currently on some crazy, unusual form. I think I was going into the game, I was scared. I just felt like, Chelsea fans are going to feast on Manchester United fans on the timeline. I was just dreading to see the game and hope that it was going to go our way. Obviously, it didn't come our way fully, but it was almost like some kind of fair result. Okay, you take 1 point, I take 1 point. Now, the one person I'm still not forgiving to this moment is the guy called Garnacho. Garnacho is really pissing me off at this point. And Garnacho, listen to me, you are pissing me off. Like, you are actually pissing me off. The one thing I think is, because of the hype surrounding Garnacho's presence, especially with how he started Manchester United, he was doing a lot. We felt like, this is literally the Cristiano Ronaldo DNA somehow
regen,
showing. We were like, yes, Manchester United. But you know what? I'm beginning to think that Garnacho is getting into his head. He's beginning to actually feel like he's Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, there's something about him, his body language on the pitch. There's just something that I feel like we need to cut off. Back in Nigeria, when you start behaving when you start, showing that kind of behavior, what people tell you is, I will cut that feather. You understand? You say you don't grow wings. I will slice that. So I'm beginning to think that Garnacho is beginning to grow wings. Where on the pitch, first of all, you could see that he's showing some level of arrogance. He's showing he's acting like he's now a boss in the team. And I don't understand. I've not seen the performance that would give you that kind of guts to make you feel like you are not even the captain of the team. A pass does not come your way. You are overreacting. Or I understand that there are some passes that even me watching the game, I feel like this person should have thrown this pass to Garnacho. But, they're kind of delay, and then you see the frustration is trying to bring out that part of him that's just very angry. I understand that, right? But you could then also see that, he's not beginning to substitute that humility for something I'm not able to pinpoint to say this is Hogan. Because even on that same game, there were a few passes that eventually came that he should have probably maybe distributed for a goal to come. And it's almost like when the ball comes to Garnacho, what is he thinking about? There was one where he had the ball and somehow he took it back and then I'm like, wait, what is going on? Is this guy going through some kind of depression? Or, let's see, footballers, and this is something I would always say to footballers, right? When your forms start a kind of like dropping, stop sleeping with the particular girl you're sleeping with at that point in time. Because this is what I think. Because sometimes they just...
Oh dear, Klinton.
Okay, no, wait. I'll come, because I know this might sound like a joke, but I'm telling you the truth. I've seen this thing happen, right? As a man, if you notice that something is no longer going the way you think it's going, maybe this is not normal you. There's something off. Stop sleeping with the particular girl you are sleeping with at that point. She's the reason why. This thing, it sounds spiritual, but trust me, Alex, this is some real stuff. If you are a footballer and you've noticed that your form is dropped, or there's just something unusual with your game, or there's just something that means that this is not the normal you, right? No. Or sometimes they feel like I'm working hard, but it's just not coming out. Look at the girl you're sleeping with. See, do you know the reason why no,
Gary's face.
No, wait, do you know the reason why Gary...
Gary,
no,
do you buy this?
Gary, you know this is true, man. Tell them the truth, man. But you know the funny thing, I've seen this thing materialize. I can tell you for free. Yeah? Let me tell you this stuff. There are some women that when you start doing stuff with, it's either you are getting extremely better with whatever it is. You start noticing some kind of improvement. You start having this kind of positive energy coming your way. And there are also women that means the moment they come in, everything is literally capsizing. Like everything is going down. Your form is dropping. Your creativity is literally getting down to zero. This is what I'm beginning to notice. And I feel like Garnacho needs to think. Garnacho needs to go through his phone and think about the particular girl he's sleeping with currently, because that girl needs to live his life. There are so many players that it's not just Garnacho. It's not just, oh, God have mercy. But, well, let's wait for real Nigerians on the YouTube comments. They will tell you what I'm saying is true.
Yeah, do let us know in the comments if you buy what Klinton is saying. Do you think that is the reason for Alejandro Garnacho's supposedly, poor form? Gary, are you buying into this reason, or do you think there's perhaps something a little bit more realistic?
Wait, no. Okay, now you are insulting this. You are insulting this lecture I'm giving the world. What would you mean something real? This is real.
Maybe he's not training well, or he's not eating the right.
Bro,
stuff,
are you telling me that all this?
No. But this is. I mean, Klinton. In Alex's defense, this is not scientifically proven. So that's probably what he means by realistic.
Well, okay.
Right? Because it's not scientifically proven.
Something a coach can say, because a coach isn't going to say.
So maybe, Alex, maybe you should have said something more.
Girlfriend.
But I mean, as much as it brings to mind something that we all heard back in I think it was the Bill Shankly, Sir Alex Ferguson era. And Alex, you know the stories. That Sir Alex Ferguson was so much of a micromanager that he would vet the women who his especially the class of 92 were dating. You've heard the story before. To the extent that there's a story that goes that when he saw Victoria Beckham around, Victoria, what was her name then? What was her name before she became
Spice,
Beckham?
Or Victoria.
Posh Spice, yeah.
Is it the Spice Girls?
The Spice Girls,
something.
yes. Victoria, I can't remember her maiden name. But Victoria
so when
Beckham,
Victoria came around, when Victoria came around David Beckham, Sir Alex, his antenna started going bing, 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 bing. And he told people, it's on record that he told people that this girl will be trouble. Now, what he didn't know, but what we have come to know later was that David, who was the best good boy in the team, started, when you watch his documentary, he started traveling and driving 4 hours, Klinton. David Beckham started driving 4 hours after games to go and see Victoria, and then drive 4 hours back. So, there are many examples. Sir Alex Ferguson, the haircuts of the players, telling people's mothers that this girl is good for your son. I think you should start letting him marry her very soon to keep them grounded, and so on and so forth. So, Klinton, I know that sometimes you say some of these things as a joke, but if you hang around footballers long enough, they will tell you that some of these things. Klinton, I'm not saying this to make you happy. I'm just saying these things happen.
We've got a brilliant comment here. I have
if you hang around.
Kwasi Opong saying Mr. Klinton needs to leave his girl for also missing 2 big chances that producer Ben was talking about.
But what you got to understand is, at least I scored 2. So it's not, see, if Garnacho had scored or made some passes that I expected him to have made in that game, I wouldn't be giving you this analogy right now. But I'm happy because what Gary is now telling you right now, Gary is giving you the physical side of this stuff. How, there's some kind of emotional or some kind of psychological effects he has on players. With regards to the kind of women they hang around with, But I am telling you now, that the area I'm even coming from, is these girls, they could appear like normal people. Like, these are girls that they probably love. Everything is fine. And obviously, they are doing the bedroom stuff. And a lot of people know that this bedroom stuff sometimes it's not. God, I can't believe we are talking about bedroom stuff on the SportyShow. But,
You mean
no,
this,
look at
that this.
Gary, stop, man. Gary, stop. But listen, I know players. I know some players. I will not mention name on this show, but I know players who have said this to me. I'm telling you for free. That if a player starts depreciating in their performance, sometimes it's not about the training. They are probably working harder than anybody on that training ground. Literally, the reason why they are still starting games is because of what the coach is seeing them do in the trainings. They know that this person is talented. But when they come on the pitch, show us what you can do. It's just the same way. Okay, I remember you guys I should not mention. But you guys have mentioned to me that Arda Güler is a beast in the training. Oh, what? All right. Okay, no, let me just keep the secret. Yeah.
All right. We get the points. Klinton, we get the points. We get it.
I mean, but hold on. But have you guys learned something today at least?
But you were talking about Garnacho.
But
you were talking about Garnacho, right?
I'm just saying I was disappointed in Garnacho.
He missed 4 chances. Well, yeah. I mean, I think lots of people were. I saw it all over my timeline. He missed 4 chances, and we saw what's happened with was it Casemiro? Was it? We saw how Casemiro reacted to him. Hello?
Yeah. We hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. You saw how Casemiro, and there was a debate. I don't know what you guys think about whether Casemiro should have, been taking it easy with him and treated him like the senior player, or it was good that he called him out. Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher could not agree on what Casemiro did to Garnacho. So what happened was that Garnacho had the ball. He had about 2 options to pass, and then he was going round and round and round, and then he ended up losing the ball.
Yeah.
Casemiro goes to intercept the ball, gets a yellow card, and has a go at Garnacho. And I think Roy Keane, we know Roy Keane will always, agree with such manly so-called masculine treatment. And I think Jamie Carragher said, yeah, he's a senior player, but, he agrees that you should have given him a talking to, but that was not the time and place to do that, because in that moment, you are going to kill the lad's confidence. So there was a debate about that. But I think that we generally agree that there's something that has gone off with Garnacho, and I for the life of me, I can't think of why. But what we know is that Garnacho is fine. One of the players that any new coach will be looking at to bring the best out of. We spoke about, I think that there has been talks and there have been stories or rumors that Ruben Amorim is saying that one of the players he definitely needs to get the best out of is Marcus Rashford. But Garnacho will not be far behind in that list, because we know what that young man is capable of. He has said himself that he does not have a bone of fear in his body. He knows that, he's not afraid of anybody. He's not afraid of any opposition. And he's very, very sure that he can deliver on the day. So we need to find out why this is happening, because you can't have a player of Garnacho's quality, ingenuity, instinct, and intuitiveness going off the ball like that. There's something wrong, and Ruben Amorim has to find out.
A few stats on Garnacho. So 5 shots attempted, obviously 2 on target. 1 big chance missed, obviously the one with the far post. Now, Klinton, when I look at this Manchester United performance, they're against a strong team like Chelsea, who, quite a lot of people are saying could be a contender for top 4. Do you think coming away from what Ten Hag the Ten Hag's time at the club where they were really struggling, obviously losing to West Ham, losing games where United should never be losing. Obviously in football you lose games, but the performances that they were putting in were well short of the expectations. Do you think that, because it's come from such a low point in the club's history that, it's definitely a positive that they played, I think it's fair to say United played well. They didn't play out of their abilities. They could have done better, but I think it was a good performance, wouldn't you say? Is that fair to say?
Firstly, I want to just make a comment based on what Gary said regarding Casemiro and Garnacho. I am very in support of what Casemiro did. I feel sometimes, just like I said, as an adult, and this is what we do as Africans, they will cut the wings off, even if it means you're doing it in front of your neighbor, you're doing it secretly. It depends on what the parents feel is best for the child at that point. Sometimes you need to take that ego off to say, yo, you don't react like that on the pitch. If you are reacting like that, I will still on that pitch cut your wings at the same time. Casemiro is a senior player. He's done everything. He's won any kind of trophy, anybody. I understand that he's probably not having the best in Manchester United, but you will see put it to the fact that he's done his own bit in football. He's been one of the best midfielders at some point. And at this point, I'm not going to compare him to some young lad, right? So if Garnacho is reacting and Casemiro is obviously countering the what Garnacho had done, then I'm supporting him. Because the truth is, it's not just him that's seeing it. A few of us, or lots of us who are watching the game, we're also noticing something off with Garnacho, and that has to be dealt with. Now, coming back to your question, I feel like that was a very good result from a Manchester United that's been going through all this crisis, managerial stuff, the football, and then going to face a team who are currently on very serious form. Some of their players are breaking records, obviously the likes of Cole Palmer, who scored 4 goals in just one half. And, facing a team like Manchester United, whom we would obviously believe that they have very low confidence with everything going around them, both the football, the psychological side, the managerial side, everything going on in Manchester United. I feel like playing a team like Chelsea, the way they played, is a very good encouragement. But I would obviously put it down to the fact that now is a whole new aura. Is somebody else standing on that touchline. This is Ruud van Nistelrooy. It's not Ten Hag. So it's something unusual. We mentioned on this show the other day that there's this something about new manager or new kind of coaching that gives some kind of glory. You called it somewhere. I can't remember what you said.
The new manager bounce.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
The phrase of the week on SportyShow.
What the managerial bounce.
New manager bounce.
Oh, new manager bounce. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I feel like them going to face Chelsea and playing Chelsea the way they play. I mean, Manchester United could have easily won that game. Right? I was quite surprised that they did play real well. And they came out with, a draw against Chelsea. I was scared that Chelsea, with the form they are on now, they were going to beat the hell out of us. But they didn't. As a matter of fact, if Garnacho, had broken up with that girl last week, we probably would have, won the game. But no, he kept on still seeing the same girl and then avoided doing the passes that he was meant to do, and he gave us a draw. So you could imagine now. Now, Gary also mentioned something about Marcus Rashford. And you see, Marcus Rashford currently with Manchester United, I think the spark is beginning to come back again. There were quite a few moves I saw him doing that game.
He had a big chance at the end, hitting the post.
Yes, exactly. I feel like the Marcus Rashford is beginning to come again. And I know he's going to come. Marcus Rashford is one of... I've said it so many times here. Yes, there was a point where I gave up on Marcus Rashford. But I've not given up on him as an athlete. I only said I would love to see him in a whole new club. Because I believe the talent is there. We've seen him do it on big stages. Like, I'm happy that he's beginning to shine again with Manchester United, obviously. And I'm hoping he does continue. But yeah, I was quite impressed with how they played. Came out with obviously a draw. They didn't lose the match. I mean, they've lost matches against even smaller teams. Not to talk about a team that's such on a form currently like Chelsea. So yeah, I give Manchester United a very good accolade for that one.
Mark and Dave saying here, I will say Chelsea got lucky to earn a point. I think that's probably fair to say. Yeah. We look at the penalty, Gary. It was a soft one. It was a penalty. Robert Sanchez making the mistake of going in there with his arms flailing. Did you see it any other way, or do you think it was a penalty?
Well, it's the Premier League. That's all I'll say. These inconsistencies are given week in, week out, and so we are not surprised anymore whether it happens to anybody. I mean, it can happen to Chelsea as much as it can happen to Nottingham Forest. It's just, and I'm sure we are all tired of seeing it. It's just the inconsistency that bothers us as fans. That this same thing will not be given in another match to the same Chelsea next week, and we'll be here complaining about it. it being the Premier League, I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, I think the bigger issue that Chelsea and their fans will be looking at is that Sanchez continues to be the weak link as he was last season. The number of errors and howlers, unfortunately, has increased from last season. From Kovacic's strike in August, remember when he was at fault for both of Brighton's goals, when Chelsea won 4-2 last month. Even on the day he faced very few dangerous attempts, he managed to add to his collection. He gave the penalty away. He snatched at, was it Højlund's ankle, right?
Yes, it was Højlund, yeah.
Yes, when he tried to dribble around him. So, I think that he's a problem that Chelsea have to look at, and I think that's the bigger problem. As for whether it was a penalty, we are going to see more of those before the end of the season too. Almost every team. So yeah, but I think that they have to look at Robert Sanchez and try to. Maresca has to look at a permanent solution for him.
Well, the Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca did say he's still backing Robert Sanchez. Got the penalty for United, and then Bruno Fernandes converted it, a good penalty, and one Moises Caicedo. The ball fell to him on the edge of the box, and I think Moises Caicedo of maybe 2 months ago, this would have gone straight into the first man or over the bar into row Z. Unbelievable finish into the bottom corner. Moises Caicedo is playing like a new man.
I'll tell you what, right? He's not playing like a new man to me. I feel like he's always been capable of doing that. I mean, last season you saw a goal he scored from midfield where he literally just dipped the keeper. Like, how many people would score that? People have attempted it. It's not really worked for them. I felt like that was one of the best goals of last season, right? Caicedo is capable of it. It's just that, with what Chelsea is now, they are more of an organized team and things are beginning to work among these teammates. So whatever happens is going to be perfect. It's not like he couldn't do it before. It's just that before, the setting that Chelsea were working on, he could have done it, but he probably wouldn't have scored it. This time around, they are working on a whole different setting. And this time, it's just working. Caicedo is capable. There's nothing I think he's a very proper defensive midfielder, right? And when it comes to the goal scoring, most times I just feel like if Caicedo would take matters into his own hands most times, right, he would score even more goals. He would literally be like Rodri, because you see, sometimes when you look at these players, right, you will see that they operate on different level. Right? Rodri is a senior player. He's been on that defensive midfield for a long time, but then he's also good at attacking. He would score crazy goals. And that's why, sorry to go into what Benzema mentioned, which really pissed me off as well, that if I see Benzema anywhere, he's definitely collecting not a normal punch, a hard one. Because
Karim, do come on the Sporty Show for an interview first. I'll interview you. Don't want to sit with Klinton, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
No, but for him to say that Rodri, he's watched him and he's never wowed him, I was quite surprised, because the truth is I've seen incredible goals where Rodri has scored and I'm like, wow, this guy, he's a beast, right? And this is somebody I see Caicedo growing into if he would take the opportunities that would come. Because Caicedo is, which I would understand, for a Chelsea that's currently gaining their form again, yeah? There are things they would not want to take risk on. So he would get it, but he would be like, no, I don't want to shoot it down. It would go. For him to do what he did yesterday, that was a volley, right? The ball literally did not hit the ground. It literally was coming from nowhere, and he hit it. Now, there are some players I would have thought, in Nigerian Pidgin English, but I don't want to form my hand. I don't want to form my hand means I don't want to reduce my steez. I don't know if steez is a word you understand.
Well, no, because that is the thing. Because if you connect with it badly,
yeah,
it goes into row Z. Your teammates are shouting at you.
Well, exactly.
And you're the one in the dressing room after going, why did you do that?
Yeah, well, exactly. Now, what has happened is he scored the goal, and what's going to be the story? Bruh, you are a beast, man. Wait, how did you... Bro, you are the best midfielder. Like, do you understand? This is the thing. And what it would help him do in the future is when the opportunity comes again, he's going to try again to see if he's going... So this is how the confidence builds. Now, if he had shot it, and let's say the thing went to the opposite side of the stadium, right? Next time when the opportunity comes, he's not going to try it. Yeah, he's going to maybe trap it and then find somebody to pass it to. But this is what we love to see in football, because this is what makes football really an amazing game. Like this kind of beautiful goals. We've seen, the only reason why people tend to kind of like rate Garnacho so much, yeah, is because of the fact that his name has gone to history as one of the guys that scored the overhead kick. You know, when you're mentioning the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, when Rooney, somehow Garnacho's name flips in. How? Somebody who just got signed to Manchester United the other day, right? And that is, coming back to what I was speaking about him earlier, all these things around him as was built, he's now feeling like, okay, I'm now Maradona, right? And now when you see him on the pitch, it's almost like, where has all this Garnacho that we used to know, where has he gone to? But then I see extreme pride coming into his head. I see him thinking, I'm now a god in football. But you're nowhere. You're still starting your career. If you start letting this thing get into your head at this point, you're just going to ruin everything that, you know, your future is. I mean, look at Marcus Rashford. At some point, people thought that by now we would be comparing Marcus Rashford and Mbappe to say who's the best. No, but for real. Alex, I don't know if you were there. But at some point, we thought that by now it was going to be Rashford versus Mbappe. But is that comparable? Even with Mbappe being in one of his lowest moments, are we still going to put Marcus Rashford's name there? No. So somebody commented, they said, when I was speaking about not sleeping with a girl, somebody said you need to take Kylian Mbappe as well, you know, to also avoid. Because the truth is he's not really had the best form either since joining Real Madrid. So I just think that, you know, I'm happy for Caicedo, and we're speaking about Caicedo, I'm happy for you know, that goal that he did score. That was really, if we didn't get the penalty, Chelsea would have easily gotten the win. And what would we have been saying now? Would have been saying, right, Van Nistelrooy, you are absolutely rubbish to get out.
It could have been a completely different story, but it was a point for both teams. United finishing the weekend in 13th. Yes, 13th. I'm not. I had to say that twice. It is weird saying that myself. Chelsea finishing the weekend inside the top four. A team that's not finishing the weekend inside the top four is Arsenal. They travelled to St James's Park and lost 1-0 to the Magpies. Alexander Isak getting on the score sheet for Eddie Howe's men. Gary, is this it? Is the title race over?
I think we mentioned this last week, right? And I did say that if Arsenal did not win, then we can start saying that the title race is over. The only luck was that, or is that, Man City have also lost. Because, I mean, I also took it for granted that Man City would win. So then an Arsenal loss would have been quite catastrophic. That said, it is still catastrophic because there's so many angles to this, you know, and to the extent that the news that Edu Gaspar is leaving has been greeted with some happiness. You know, ideally, Edu's departure a few months ago or during the transfer window would not have been greeted with this level of glee and happiness by a certain sizable section of Arsenal fans. And I think it's just because of the way the season is panning out. Some have said previously, before this season, to be fair, that Arteta is a good manager but too conservative and does not have the killer instinct. I was at an Arsenal event, the last big game, so yesterday's week, when we played in that big game against Liverpool, and it was the Arsenal supporters Ghana, so it was the official Arsenal supporters group. And the consensus was that Arteta is good, he's brought us somewhere, but we are in a situation where we need somebody to take us to the next level. You get what I'm saying? So you needed somebody to stabilize the ship, bring belief and all that. But there's something inside Arteta that is stopping him from pushing us to become winsome, particularly where it matters the most. I have not yet decided whether this is true or not, but games like yesterday make it hard to say no to or to disprove those who have these opinions. It makes it hard. There's too much tinkering going on.
It's one of those, Gary, I think when you look at Arsenal as a side, finishing second 2 seasons in a row, you know, you talk about the analogy of boxers, you know, who don't become champion when there is a legendary fighter like Muhammad Ali. They're just at the wrong time. You know, Man City, one of the greatest Premier League teams of all time. This Arsenal team, you know, you look at Edu obviously leaving. I think the reasons for it haven't clearly been left out at the moment. But is it a case of, you know, you look at the signings that they have brought in, Raheem Sterling, obviously Leandro Trossard has come in from Brighton, you know, quite a bit of time ago compared to Raheem Sterling, and you look at some of the signings that they perhaps haven't made. You know, they let go of Eddie Nketiah to Crystal Palace. Havertz and Gabriel Jesus leading the line. Havertz has done a good job, but Gabriel Jesus not living up to the expectations. Do you think that, they've done this in light of January, thinking we get someone else in, they can sign a striker perhaps that's going to score us 15, 20 goals by the end of the season and try and mount a last-minute title challenge? Or do you think this was perhaps something that they've been looking at for a while and they thought this is about the right time?
Last-minute title challenge in this season, in this league, with Man City and Liverpool in this form, in this mood? No. I think
there's been 4 teams that have had this points tally at this stage of the season and gone on to win the title. So it would be somewhat of a record for Arsenal
one
to
of
do
them?
it. Yes. So
Was Arsenal one of them?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm guessing a few of those were United with Fergie. But to be in the company of 4 teams, if Arsenal go on and do it, this is, talking about in the future if they can do it. But yeah,
which comes back to the point I was making about now what Arsenal fans are saying and whether I'm not too decided, but performances like last week's and yesterday and some of the performances we've seen this season don't make it easy to back Mikel Arteta all the way, because sometimes you don't understand the reticence or why he's pressing the brakes when you should be playing more attacking football all the time, just going at it all the time. There's a certain inertia about it that I'm yet to understand, and I'm not. It's disappointing. Let me just put it that way. And I don't know. Maybe Arsenal fans in the comments would want to ask or say that, look, you guys, the guy has brought you this far. Don't you think you should give him some patience and look at the context of the injuries we have had this season? And they are quite serious injuries, and to players who are game changers. But I look at certain games like the Liverpool game. Could we have done better? Could the formation have been better? Could the selection of the players could have been better? Is there a killer instinct that's missing from Arsenal? It's disappointing that we are in this position this season. I mean, come on, we are out of the top 4 in November. No, that's not right. So, yeah, unfortunately, right now, I'm not very decided as to whether Mikel Arteta is the best man for the job. But I am disappointed that we are in this position at this point in the season. We are
Klinton,
losing games we shouldn't be losing.
Is your thread of patience for Arteta running out? You're not an Arsenal fan this week.
Well, I mean,
Do you think it's time that Arsenal look in another direction, or is that ridiculous talk at this moment, considering what he's done for the club?
well, first of all, I want to say a very big thank you to Patrice Evra for his comment. He did say that watching Arsenal is like watching Netflix. You would always wait for the next season.
I have to say, reading that, Patrice Evra has done Arsenal very badly there. That is...
Camera, show me laughing now. Oh, God.
Just to add something to my question, Markindale makes a good point. Eric Ten Hag got 2 trophies in 2 years and got sacked. Arteta 1 in 5 years. And obviously Arteta finished second 2 years in a row. The way that this Arsenal team have been playing is a lot more exciting and a lot more positive than Eric Ten Hag. But do you think at some point Arsenal do have to look at it and think we need someone to take us to the next level?
I don't think Arsenal needs somebody to take them to the next level. The truth is, Arteta, he's built a team. The fact is, if Arteta was going to, if they were going to give Arteta the same treatment that Ten Hag got, he probably would have left Arsenal a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
But what they did is they had proper patience with him, and he's now built a formidable team that, you could see them, they look like proper title contenders. Now, the problem that Arsenal have is the fact that they built the team around somebody whom the moment the person left, and that's the difference between Arteta and Pep, right? Obviously, we'll come into Manchester because Manchester did lose their one, but I have some kind of defense for Pep at the same time, right? Since Odegaard has not been on that midfield, you could see that Arsenal is not really Arsenaling. At this point, they don't even have any ass, right? What they literally have, I don't even know. Like, you could see that there's just something There's something that's missing when you watch Arsenal. Now, even look at the defense from that game. What's the name? Gabriel and the other one. The Arsenal pen now. Come on, man. Come on, young people, talk to me, man. Saliba, Jesus Christ.
Saliba, Gabriel.
Yeah, you could see that sometimes it feels like, hang on, wait, what is going on? What's going on with the team coordination? Like, there's just something off with this Arsenal. Like, there are some kind of games that you would not expect Arsenal to lose. Yes, I understand that this was in Newcastle home, but I still see Arsenal winning Newcastle in their home with the kind of form Arsenal has been. But the truth is, the magician who does all of, even if Arsenal wins a game now, it's like, maybe one. Like, you will see that they are struggling to win games. Just the same way we have Manchester City at the same time. Would you ever think, Manchester City lost to Bournemouth? Would you see that happening? But it's to tell you that sometimes when your engine room is missing, there is nothing, no matter how much you think there's going to be. This is like the heartbeat of the team. You don't have Rodri, you don't have Kevin De Bruyne. Manchester City will look like an average team in the Premier League. And this is what we are getting now. Anybody is not correct. Listen, when you lack these strongholds in your team, anybody can beat you. If you beat somebody, it's just because maybe you were lucky or, the best team just won. But there are some teams that you see, you could know that with these people being in it, no matter what happens, they would win. Now, if Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne were in that game and they were, let's say, 1 or 2-0 down, maybe you would have said Manchester City will come back. Or you would be like, there's that full courage that that they're still going to come down with a win. But right now, if Manchester City goes 1-0 down, now, the thinking is, are they going to come back? They could come back, but it's the fact that you're having to question them coming back that becomes the issue. The same thing with Arsenal. With Arsenal right now, and honestly, I miss Odegaard because I love his football. I love the way he controls the midfield. I love his creative abilities. I love his link-up plays. I love his there are things that you don't get in so many players. That when you have in one, and the team is now built around that one, the moment this one is gone, look at Thomas Partey. He wasn't playing for some time, but Arsenal still winning. It doesn't mean that he's not a very big advantage to Arsenal, but the team has not been built around him. But you see that Odegaard is a guy that runs that Arsenal midfield. If he's not there, they will continue suffering.
You mentioned the Man City result there. Losing to Bournemouth, Liverpool beating Brighton will wrap things up on the Premier League because there was a lot of action in La Liga this weekend as well. But quickly, in 30 seconds or less, is this Liverpool's title to lose or City still the favourites for you?
I mean, I'm not going to give up on City, to be honest. I feel like City, somehow, they are that team that even if they go on 5th, somehow they will still find their way to the top. The only difference right now is, obviously, Rodri is probably out for the whole season. I don't know.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne, we don't know when he's going to come back.
No, he's sort of slowly making his way back.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Now, with Kevin De Bruyne, I still believe that he's also a heartbeat of that team. If he comes back, fact is, I still see Manchester City taking it. Doesn't mean that Liverpool... I think the 2 title contenders right now is literally either Liverpool or Manchester City. Liverpool, they were literally losing their game as well, and somehow they came back and won 2. Right? So I know it's between Manchester City and Liverpool. If Rodri and De Bruyne were still in the game, no matter how much form Liverpool has, they're still not going to get it.
Well, all to be decided. There's still a long way to go in the Premier League season. Moving across to Spain, Barcelona beat Espanyol 3-1 in the Catalunya derby, going 9 points clear of Real Madrid at the top of the La Liga table. Atletico Madrid also played at home, beating Las Palmas 2-0. I got to chat with Alexander Sorloth after the game, and we had a little moment joking about our heights. So have a look at this little video.
Oh my God.
We're going to be next to each other.
Oh my God. My friends saw the interview and they said like, oh my God, you are so small. The last time we did it. Oh my God.
We're going to be next to each other.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
some funny moments there between me and Sorloth. Good to chat with the Norwegian striker again, scoring a goal, the win for Atleti. We've got some fun topic to finish with, but I just want a quick word on Liga.
I wanted to ask you regarding this video, Alex.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, who has ever come close to you that's never had something to say, though? Gary, I can't wait for you to meet Alex because, see, when we are outside, right, you see people gossiping Alex secretly without him even knowing. You will see people just doing, like, ooh.
You know, it's getting. So I'm not surprised. Anytime he goes to interview any player, this is literally what he gets. He's always, wow, okay, what is going on here?
There was a moment afterwards as well, actually, that Sorloth, he went up on his tiptoes and I sort of leant down a bit trying to help him out. But no, brilliant to chat to him. Obviously, you know, scoring the goal, the second goal for Atletico Madrid. Barcelona winning 3-1. You know, Gary, just quickly before we move on to a certain Portuguese coach in Turkey, do you think this is done and dusted for Barcelona? Or is that, you know, way too early to say that?
But it's getting late for Real Madrid and anybody else. It's way too early, but it is getting late for Real Madrid and anybody else. In this form, I mean, you know, injuries can strike, anything can happen. It's a long season, cliche alert, it's a marathon, not a sprint, all that. But the kind of form and the kind of, you know, thing that Barcelona has shown is really impressive. And it will be very hard, I think, for Real Madrid to claw back, get into the groove on time, in time for January to sort out whatever issues they have in their squad and win. I think this is Barca's season to lose.
Well, still, as we said, a long way to go, Klinton. I'm going to move across to Turkey. Jose Mourinho, manager of Fenerbahce.
Hold on. But why don't you want me? You don't speak about a game that I will always attend their home games, and then you just want to. Are you not going to ask me about Real Madrid?
Well, they didn't play at the weekend.
No, they didn't play. But when Barcelona plays, Real Madrid plays spiritually somehow. So you need to. Somehow they will get in, because obviously we can look at, you know, the comments between Makinde and somebody called Trippy Boy QFF. I don't know if that's. Hang on. Sorry.
That was fun hearing Klinton trying to read that one.
Okay, no, the FF is actually not the person's name. Right, sorry. I think that's a word that they're using on their own, but I just hope it's not the word I'm thinking about. Right, okay. No, and I was just trying to put things together in my head. But
Can Real Madrid catch Barcelona up?
they're definitely not doing it this season. Like, I'm telling you for free, Real Madrid is not their season for the La Liga. Like, it's already done. Like, first of all, when you see a team that wants to contend, you already know. This Real Madrid this season, come on, man. Listen, that's the reason why I want to spend my time speaking about Real Madrid. Because we've been saying this thing. Makinde, who's here writing FF, listen, that guy telling you, listen to him properly. Because the truth is, this Real Madrid is not the Real Madrid we know. Right? And if this is how they want to continue this season, trust me, they will be lucky to be in top 4 by the time this season ends. I'm telling you the truth. If you have good 4 serious teams, Real Madrid they will not play Real Madrid for the first time in years, they are going to play Europe. Literally, they'll be going to play those teams like, you know those funny names, Anten, Kolunkra, you know, all those things. The random teams that you never want to. That's what Real Madrid will be playing. I'm telling you for free. Like, if care is not taken, I mean, you could already see what is going on with the team. Something else. Barcelona, on the other hand, they are the people that it feels like they are ready to play football. Barcelona, they are currently unbeatable. Barcelona, they are literally the team everybody wants to watch right now. Everyone is doing exploits. Everybody literally on form. Lamine Yamal is doing crazy assists, scoring goals at the same time. Rafinha, I don't know what. Listen, whoever is the girl Rafinha is sleeping with, continue sleeping with the girl. Because that girl comes with proper good luck. Lamine Yamal, you're not up to age. Please don't go after any woman. I thank God that one girl already broke your heart in one place you went. You said you were going for one holiday. Okay, let me not talk too much. I wanted to talk about those nonsense girls. But please. But Barcelona, they are the real stuff. In Spanish, you will say.
I'm not going to say what I would say in Spanish.
No, I feel like I want to say it. Barcelona, Barcelona, they.
Oh my God! No! Don't say it, Klinton. Yes, obviously Real Madrid not playing at the weekend. They are playing AC Milan tomorrow in the Champions League, and then Osasuna at the weekend. I do want to touch on Mourinho because everyone loves him. Well, not everyone. He's a dividing figure. I certainly love him. And Fenerbahce, his side, played Trabzonspor at the weekend, winning 3-2 in what he would say, and what I think most people would say, controversial fashion after some, suspicious refereeing decisions. And the Portuguese coach was up to some of his old golden moments. Let's have a look at his post-match press conference.
Oh my God.
We're going to be next to each other.
Oh my God. My friend.
But I couldn't believe that this was the dimension. It's too grey, it's too dark, smells bad. Attila woke up. because in the first half he was having probably Turkish tea, for not to say an alcoholic drink, so probably it was Turkish tea, when there was a clear red card on Bright. I think in London only my son watched the Turkish league, nobody else. But I'm going to post in my Instagram. I don't have many, but I think more than 5 million will watch abroad that penalty, so they will know what the Turkish league is.
If you rate your performance on a scale of between 0 to 10, what grade would you give to yourself?
0. But I couldn't believe that.
Up to his old tricks again, and very entertaining to see. Gary, you talked about potentially Arsenal needing a step up. Do you fancy Jose Mourinho at the Emirates?
No.
That was quick.
No, I don't. No.
That definite no, not even a possibility in the future for you.
Too much drama. He's not what we need at the moment. He's not what we need at the moment. I mean, he will certainly make our club blockbuster in terms of headlines and, but he's not what we need at the moment. He's not what we need at the moment.
Marky Day saying, tell Gary that I can see Mourinho at Arsenal. Klinton, as a Man United fan, would you like to see him back at Man United? It's probably never going to happen.
Honestly, do you know what the funny thing? I love Jose Mourinho's attitude. Trust me. Let's forget about the football. I just want to see that character.
Just for the entertainment.
Yeah, just for the entertainment, exactly. Like I want to see. Listen, I feel like Jose Mourinho is one of those spoiled children growing up where you refuse to give them, and they're like, well, if you want me to go and play, you need to give me popcorn. I'm not going. Mom, they start moaning. Like this is. But then again, he's a more matured one, right? And I love the fact that he's incorporating that attitude in football. And this is actually very serious stuff. So the fact that you could see him showing this kind of, like they asked you to rate it, man, you just went 0.
You didn't say it there, but he got up and walked off.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
He got up and walked out of the press conference. Obviously, it was the end of the press conference.
Oh my God. God.
Jose Mourinho also gave a.
And you saw when
flash.
he did the sliding.
Yeah,
well,
he did the sliding, which was quite funny. So Fenerbahce scored a late-minute winner against Trabzonspor, winning the game 3-2. And Mourinho, he was so happy. He did a knee slide, but obviously it didn't work. Have a look at this now.
There we go.
I love the man. I love the man. And Owen Smith is saying Mourinho will win the league with Arsenal in under 2 years. What do you make of that, Gary?
Oh, man.
No, if that's going to happen, I'll take him in a heartbeat, and then we can sack him afterwards.
Yes, obviously good to see Mourinho back to his old tricks again. Klinton, I think, looking ahead to what we've got as an exciting week, we've talked about Real Madrid, we talked about Barcelona, we talked about the Premier League, some exciting matches in the Champions League. Won't touch on it too much because obviously talk about it tomorrow. But from the weekend, what's your biggest takeaway from the weekend? If you were to, as they say in school, sum up this weekend in 500 words, what would you say?
Well, first of all, I'm happy with the upsets that we're having on the Premier League. With the fact that Manchester City dropping points, Arsenal obviously waiting for the next season already on Netflix. I mean, it's something that's currently being shot.
He's not going to let you go with that one, right?
No way. And obviously, seeing Liverpool, restoring this glory that we used to know from them, literally being there. Chelsea, obviously, Manchester. I mean, there's so much that's gone on, but I'm going to speak obviously for my own team. I'm just hoping that Manchester United would be that glory that they used to have. It will be restored again. And I'm not seeing us playing European football after this season, but whatever the new manager will come in to do, I'm hoping something would balance up that Manchester United team. Obviously, that game we saw with Van Nistelrooy, it wasn't too bad for me. We could have easily won the game properly, but like I said, the spoiled child kept on making wrong decisions, and probably not just him, quite a few of them on the pitch. But these are things that, with a new manager, hopefully, knowing the manager coming is going to be a very tough one, and he's a no-nonsense person. So Manchester United would obviously get there again. But yeah, I don't know why we're not speaking about Nottingham Forest, though. I mean, there's no time for that. But Nottingham Forest. Oh, did you see Ola Aina's goal? Oh my God.
Did you
Nigerians are
even-
making me proud, man. Ademola Lookman as well. Ademola, do you know what Ademola Lookman did? Ademola Lookman went to Napoli and said, you guys dare not mess my brother again. Like, this is, for me, this is how you respond to stuff.
And did you see Ole Einar's post-match interview? He was sipping a carton of Ribena.
Yeah.
Other drinks are available. He was asked, you know, what was your thoughts going through your head before the goal? And he was like, I was just tired and I hit it. Brilliant.
No, but listen, but it's as simple. The truth is, that goal was a thunder. Did you see the shot? Let me tell you the truth. If somebody else had scored that goal, let's say it was maybe Garnacho or Rashford, let's say somebody who's up, you know, in that front attack, yeah, we would have been speaking about that goal till now. But yeah, he's a defender, and, you know, yeah, it's Ole Einar, some, you know, as usual. But listen, Nottingham Forest, I'm really, really proud of them. Like, I'm proud of Nottingham Forest. You guys don't understand. I'm just happy with the... Like, wait, sometimes I go to the Premier League table and I see Nottingham Forest, and I'm like, wait, hold on. And then I try to refresh. Because I feel like, you know how sometimes it's a glitch, and then when you refresh, you see another... Like, I'm seeing Nottingham Forest, I'm like, wait, Nottingham Forest is third? What is going on, man? Wait, not be to be that.
Gary, I think Klinton would get marked down for going over 500 words there. In under 15 seconds, what's your summary of the weekend? What was your takeaway?
Lookman was amazing. Arsenal were bad. Man United, Chelsea was very, very poor quality. Loda are unstoppable. The weekend was okay, footballistically.
That's perfect. Thank you very much. That's all we have time for today, unfortunately. Do join us tomorrow, same time, 8 o'clock Spanish time, and we will be covering all of the games, the Champions League. We'll be looking ahead to them 8 till 9, and then at 9 o'clock we will be doing a Sporty Corner watch-along of the Champions League games. But until then, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Klinton. Enjoy your Monday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Ebwe, ti,
See you.
Boo.